Hey everyone, it's Jessie G here. Welcome back to Jessie's Hangout. This is episode number 15. Welcome. If you are new to my channel and new to what I do, this is a podcast open topic series. I talk about anywhere from movie reviews to sometimes things going on in the world. I touch on that. I touch on a lot of things that have to do with your mental health sometimes. I pretty much topic about anything that we want to talk about, plus what YouTube will allow me to talk about, anyways. Um, so we pretty much just kind of sit down, hang out, chit chat for a couple of minutes, and we talk about all sorts of things. So if you're interested in this type of podcast series, and if you're also interested in any of the gameplays I put out here and there on this channel as well, feel free to hit that red subscribe button and that notification bell so you'll be notified as to when I upload videos in the future and you don't miss out on anything fun or exciting. A little bit of as to why I'm pretty much going to explain this every once in a while, but not every time. But if you're new here, I'm going to go ahead and kind of explain this. Um, there's a reason for the copyright thing that showed up um, before the show started, because I've had some issues in the past and done a lot of research, and I'm not really going to go into every detail, but basically it's there for the safety of my videos, for my safety, for doing what I do game wise, for the pictures and everything that I put up, that type of thing. So it's basically just up there for safety reasons for my videos and to make sure that I don't run into any speed bumps. Along with also when I upload, YouTube lets me know if I need to fix anything, so that helps too, but it's basically up there for reassurance. It's a big pain in the butt, to say the least, but that's what it is. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and recite it again, because that way if some of you missed that, you guys have heard it from me and you've also seen it, so it's just taking a safety precaution for me. I know it's annoying, but it is what it is. Copyright disclaimer: under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowances made for fair use for purposes such as comment, criticism, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by the copyright statute that might otherwise be interfering. Non-profit or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Also note that sometimes not only will you see a copyright disclaimer, sometimes I'll put trigger warnings in there if I feel I need to. If there's a certain topic that might be triggering, you'll see that. Sometimes I'll put an age warning, just even though that YouTube is made for adults, but you never know who's watching your videos, because these days kids will watch anything, and you just want to be really careful, and you want to be forward and honest. You don't want to just put something out there and not be careful. So with that said, let's get into today's topic. Today's topic is all about the Gilded Age. But before I get started in the Gilded Age review, I kind of wanted to take a rewinder here. If you guys are familiar with Downton Abbey, if you are, you probably know that I've done a episode where I did a review on the series. So if you have, you guys are familiar with Julian Fellowes. He was also the writer and also the creator of Downton Abbey. Now, there was a person that did direct Downton Abbey, but he was also the executive producer and the executive, or however you call a second director. And he was also the one that basically created the personalities for each character, wrote each script and all that. I'm sure he had help, but he was responsible for that, along with many other people who were really awesome at bringing Downton Abbey to life. But he's really the main person that brought Downton Abbey to life and made it what it was too. He's also an actor himself. I have seen him a couple of times do some acting. He's also had um, the privilege and the honor of working with Dame Maggie Smith a couple of times in a few movies and a few series. Um, so he's had the pleasure of working with her. She's also in both of his motion picture movies for Downton Abbey. It is a series. It is a 6-season series, but it also went from being a series to a um, two-part movie. The first one was called Downton Abbey Motion Picture Movie. The second one is Downton Abbey A New Era. It's coming in May of 2022. So be on the lookout. I think it's coming in May in the U.S. I'm not 100% sure, but keep a lookout from that in between from May until probably August. So somewhere in there you'll probably see it come out in the U.S. They're never really set in stone with U.S. dates, which is really annoying and frustrating, but that's just how it is. So keep on the lookout for that. So he was responsible for that. So we're going on ship, and we're going all the way to New York City, and we're going all the way back to 1880s. We're going from the 1900s and 1920s, 1930s that we were centered around with Downton Abbey, all the way back to the 1800s. Or the 1800s, the 1880s. You get my drift. So basically, this is centered around 1882. It's in New York City. It's called the Gilded Age. It's centered around the time where New York City is changing. Everything is changing. The economy is changing. Economics are changing. So basically everything is changing. It's basically called the American Gilded Age, but the series is called the Gilded Age. So it's kind of weird. He went from England, Yorkshire, England. I think that's where Downton Abbey is, to New York City, but going way back in time. We're basically going back in time where we're going back in Violet's era, basically. We're going back in her time. We're going back in the 1880s, basically. We're going around her era. Her time where she was young and all that type of stuff. We're basically going back in her type of time frame. It's basically, there was in New York Times, around that time, it was basically a conflict between the old ways and the brand new system. Huge fortunes were made, huge fortunes were lost. People took a gamble on things. They either won or they lost. Some people were all for the new things. Some people were all for the old things. Some people wanted change. Some people didn't want change. People had a hard time dealing with change because they're always stuck in the old ways. But sometimes you have to change things in your life in order to move forward. Sometimes. Not always, but sometimes. But back in those days, things were different. Things were really different. In 1882, a young Marion Brooks moves from a rural area in Pennsylvania to New York City after the death of her father to live with her aunts Agnes von, I'm going to say her last name wrong, so much a pardon. I will put the last name in the bottom so you guys see what I mean. Rojahan, if I'm saying it right, and Ada Brooks. I'm going to kind of pause there before I read the rest of it. Marian Brooks is kind of this, she's outgoing and she always speaks her mind. She's kind of stubborn in a lot of ways. She's a pretty smart woman. but sometimes when she goes to help somebody, she can read between the lines sometimes. I mean, she has her follies, but she also has her good qualities about her. And she's a really kind, gentle person. Just ends up falling on a hard time where her father passed. I'm not going to go into actual specifics, but sometimes I don't know if it was particularly in the United States, it could have changed. I'm not really sure exactly if it was uh, how it was back then here, but things here were different. Like in London, England, if a man died, it would go to the male heir. Now, if a male died, um, it would still pass on to his daughter, but in this case, her father was so in debt with a lot of things that she lost the house. She basically had nothing, and she was forced to move in with her aunts. Um, and it was a really, really big adjustment for her because she went from a rural country area to a city life, and that's a big change. I mean, you're going from one extreme to a really big extreme. It's a lot of change. You have to change some things in your life. Your life changes. You have to adapt to your surroundings differently. You have to look at things differently. Society's different in some ways, and other ways it's the same. But it's a really big change. And especially when you're a young woman who has nothing and your father passed. Um, Agnes is kind of a very stern, very opinionated, very dead set in the old ways type of person. And if that does not remind you of stinking Violet Crawley, then I don't know what does, because they're kind of alike in a lot of ways, and in other ways they're not. Violet liked to she liked to be a schemer at times. Agnes, she was just really dead set in her ways, and she was very opinionated, and she would let you know. She was just a very stern woman who sometimes got her way. She was just like, she held the power in the house in a way. And it wasn't just Ada that did. Ada Brooks, oh my goodness, she's played by Cynthia Nixon. She's also the actress that was uh, the one who played Miranda Hobbs in Sex and the City. So it was very interesting to see her in a different surrounding, a different character, and it was totally awesome. I mean, she totally blew me away. It was just absolutely fantastic. I mean, she just did absolutely wonderful. I was totally taken aback. I mean, she just played this part with the utmost respect and the funniest sense of humor this woman was, and the personality that Ada has that she brought to life. Ada is just this quirky, funny, emotional, very, very kind woman who ends up being kind of like a mother figure to Marion. And that's really cool. And it's really funny because Cynthia Nixon is also been in movies with Christine uh, Baranski. She's also played in movies and series with her before, so it was really cool to know that they're back at it in the same room together, and it's really cool. Um, so that was very interesting. Them two are very interesting. You guys got to really see it for yourself to really see what I mean. Um, on Marion's journey to New York City, she ends up bumping into a young woman who is an aspiring writer seeking a fresh start. Her name is Peggy Scott, and she's played by a really brilliant actress, Deneen Benton. She's really awesome actress. She really brought Peggy to life. I mean, shed shedded a whole lot of light of what it's like to be a young black woman who wants to be an inspiring writer, a novelist, somebody who wants to make something of herself and in a society that stares down their noses at people like her. And it's very difficult. Not always, but it is difficult because there are some people in this world that are just plain mean. And in those days, there was a lot of people mean to them. They definitely weren't treated equally. Let's just put it that way. Um, so she's accompanied by Peggy Scott, and when Marion gets to New York City, she comes involuntarily embellished in a social war between one of her aunts and a uh, section of an old and of the old money set, and her stupendous, if I'm saying it right, rich neighbors, a ruthless railroad tycoon, and his ambitious wife, George and Bertha Russell. George Russell, oh God, he's kind of full of himself. He takes a gamble on something. If he wants something, he's gonna get it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. He's just gonna get it, and he's kind of ruthless and vain. He's pretty much there's another word for it, but I can't really think of the name of it, or the name right off the top of my head. But he's very vain. Um, he's very ruthless in a lot of ways. He's just basically he's basically just kind of stuck up on himself in a way. But in a way, his marriage to Bertha, um, they kind of attract each other. They kind of equal each other out. They balance each other. Their marriage is not like what you would normally typically see a woman who's married to a rich man. So it's basically they balance each other out, but yet they have their moments where they butt heads, especially when it comes to their children. Um, basically, they're coming to a part where they're exposed to a world on the brink of a modern age, and not only does society have to choose which way they want to go, Marion has to choose which way she wants to go with her life. But also her aunts have to, also the people around her have to. And it's very interesting because Bertha, when they first move in, they're not received very kindly. Um, George, he's received pretty well by the people and the company, the railroad company that he owns. So he's definitely received by them pretty well. But Bertha kind of goes off to a bad start, and it just kind of goes from there. And Marion just kind of gets tossed in the middle of all of this. And it's really kind of interesting to see how Marion kind of steers her own boat in this. Um, the Russells have two children, a daughter named Gladys. I might say her name wrong, but Gladys Russell, who is played by none other than Teresa Famigara, if I'm saying her last name right. She was also the one that played in the Covenant series for American Horror Stories. She also was in a lot of the other episodes after that. She's the youngest daughter of them, and the oldest son is played by Harry Richardson. He plays Larry Russell. Um, their daughter is kind of young, very ambitious woman, wants to um, do things on her own, feel things on her own, have her own opinions, not be ran by her mother or her father. She wants to be her own person. And Larry Russell kind of sticks up for her in a lot of ways. He's kind of like that big brother protector of her a lot. And but he also seems to have his uh, own rocky boat of issues, as you'll probably start to see a little bit of. And it's really interesting to see the both of them. Agnes also has a son, Oscar. Oscar Van Rogen. He's kind of like George, but a lot worse than George. He's a fortune hunter, and he's really stuck up on himself. But he also has his secrets and his follies that um, come to life throughout the series, which you guys will have to see. And it's very interesting, um, to say the least. And it's really awesome to see all these actors and actresses bring all these characters to life. And we'll also, and there is also another familiar face that we will all know of. Um, Aurora Mcdonald. She is known for her role in the uh, Annie movie. I think it was back in the 2000s or somewhere in there. She played with Kathy. She did that movie with Kathy Bates and Victor Gilbert, if I'm saying his last name right. She also played in that. She was known from that. Christine Baranski is also known for her many series and many roles that she has done. She's also known for her big role and a big part of A Way of Chicago, which won a lot of awards for that. Um, it starred Catherine Zeta-Jones and a lot of other good actors. And it was a really good movie, and she did absolutely fantastic. She played a reporter, so it was really interesting. She also played alongside Queen Latifah, a lot of other good actors and actresses in there, so it was really interesting. Um, there's also another familiar face. You guys will know her from Criminal Minds and other CSI in episodes or series, and also movies as well. Um, Janine or Janan Triplehorn. She's known for her many roles. She plays Sylvia Chamberlain. Uh, Sylvia Chamberlain becomes more of like a friend, a confidant that Marina can confide in. Um, Also, Peggy also becomes that type of friend as well. Both of them help her through her struggles, and chart through her uncharted territory that she's going through. Oscar's also uh, been brought to life by a really awesome actor who you probably have seen in. He was from Da Vinci's Demons. Blake Ritson. He's also known for playing in Emma, which is another drama. He's also known for a lot of movies. He's a really good actor. Um, George Russell's brought to life by Morgan Spectator. Bretha Russell is brought to life by Carrie Croon. Um, a lot of good actors and actresses in here. And a lot of familiar faces. Nathan Lane, he plays in this. He's also known for The Birdcage with Robin Williams. He's also known for Penny Dreadful, The City of Angels. He played in the first season of that. He's known for various of other movies. He's really cool. He plays Ward McAllister. He becomes a little bit fungled in Barisa, and it's kind of weird, but he just kind of comes all entangled up with her, so it's really interesting. So there's a lot of good actors and actresses in this. It's really interesting to see what these actors go through in the series and their personalities. I think Julian Fellows, the creator, did really awesome. I think the directors, Mitchell Eger and Sal Richardson, and the I think they did pretty awesome being together. The executive producer, Julian Fellows, he's also the executive producer, the program creator, and the writer as well. And Mitchell Eger is also the executive producer, along with Grease Neiman, if I'm saying his last name right. So there's a lot of good crew and people who bring this alive. The costumes were really pretty. They were really awesome. I loved it. I loved the hats. I love how the hair was. I love how each costume kind of brought out each character's personality in their own way. Um, it was a really interesting series. It first aired on January the 24th, 2022, and I think the season premiere ended back in, I think, March or February. I think it ended back in February, so it's been a little bit. But it's a really good series. You guys should go check it out. It's on HBO Network, but it's also, you can see it, all the episodes, and stream all the episodes on HBO Max. It's a subscription streaming app. You do have to pay for that app. But they have really good movies, really DC movies, HBO type of movies, like anywhere from Game of Thrones. They have the new series, Sex and the City, um, just like that. They have all sorts of really good series and really good movies, so you guys should go check that out for yourself and kind of form your own opinion and whatnot. I think it was really an interesting type of series. But anyways, before I get babbled on and make this any longer than what it is, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I hope you guys got a lot out of it. I really enjoyed sitting down, just kind of talking to you guys about this wonderful series. I look forward to season 2. Also, by now, if you haven't already heard, season 2 of Bridgerton is now out on Netflix. You guys should really go check it out. It's a big thing. If you guys haven't seen the first season, you guys should go see the first season. I plan on doing an episode review of that once now that I've seen both seasons, and I might write it out. So that might be something you guys will be seeing in the future. So go check that out. Also go check out Julian Fellows' other good works, Downton Abbey. Go check out the series, seasons 1 through 6. Also check out his first motion picture movie of Downton Abbey, and also look forward to the second movie, Downton Abbey: A New Era, and go check out many of his other works that he has done over the years, and also his what he's acted in too. So go check all those out. Hope you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you haven't already, hit that red subscribe button. Hit that button. Hit the notification bell. Give this video, this episode, a thumbs up. Don't forget to go check me out on all of my social medias. They're listed in the description box below this episode. Go check me out. Go check out my other episodes of season 2, and also check my season 1 out. I have episodes 9 through 28, I think it is, on this channel, and I have episodes 1 through 8 on my second channel, it's Jessie 2, Jessie G2. It will be listed in it. My second channel will be listed in the description box, so go check that out. I hope you guys have an awesome evening, morning, day, or night, wherever you are watching or listening to this from, and I will catch you guys in my next episode later.